Good morning, everyone. It's time for Midweek Motivation Live. This is Patrick Lee, your host. We're going to be talking about the ladies. Today's show is for the ladies, and all of you men, I think you can learn something from this today, too. We'll be back right after this. Y'all stick around. Hope everyone is doing good today. Like I said before, this is Patrick Lee, your host of Midweek Motivation Live. Today's show, we're going to be talking about ladies going for your dreams. Today, this show is for you here on Midweek Motivation Live, now available on all major podcast platforms. Look for Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee in the search bar, wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Stitcher. You can find us there. We appreciate that very much. And now into the show. I've shared this in the past and on the show, and probably just in passing statements. I'll make statements about women. I believe firmly in women, and I have said this in the past. My preacher used to say this. David Brown said, "I love women. My mother was a woman." And it's a funny statement, but I love women. I am a great lover of women, and I have incredible, amazing women in my life. This is not a Valentine's Day show. This is the beginning of November. It's nearly my birthday. Yesterday was my youngest daughter's birthday. It's fixing to be my wedding anniversary. But it's on my heart. So whenever things start taking space in my mind and in my heart, mind, will, and emotions, it becomes something that becomes a topic on the show. If it's important to me, I hope that it will become important to you as well. Hey, Robert, good to see you watching the show. And we're going to get in touch with our sensitive side. And not really. It's just today's show is going to be about the importance of women in business, in our lives, and success for women, but more so for women to listen to the show, to watch the show, to help build the women up, not in our lives, but to build them up in their lives. And this is something that I feel the marketplace, that relationships, many businesses, many other areas of life that women, and I'm not talking about women's lib and equality, but I am talking about the opportunity for women, and how that differs from the opportunity maybe for men, but how the necessity of women in business is no less than the necessity for men in business. The amount of respect we need to give women in business. Hello, Bruce. Good morning from Joplin. Good to see you watching from out on the road. Sal, good to see you watching the show as well. A lot of longtime listeners, regular listeners. Man, I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know here on Midweek Motivation Live. I didn't do the show a few weeks ago, and I had people messaging me, "Hey, no show today. I was traveling out of state, and we didn't do a show that day." And people, if I don't do a show, people message me and wonder where I'm at. "Where did you go? I needed you today." And I'm like, I love that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. The importance of women in our lives, in business, the importance. Today, I want to take some time to help build women up. Maybe you are a lady that watches the show, and you know people that this show will, pertain to or hit home with, and maybe you want to share this with them. I make the same offer to you as I make to everyone else when you watch the show. Like, love, share the show, subscribe on YouTube, click on the bell, turn on notifications, all of those things. And we give away swag. We give away Patrick Lee Group swag, different things, books from different authors, people that I think are important. Sometimes I buy them. Didn't intend to do this, but there are sometimes I usually buy books in stacks. I buy stacks of books that I think will impact people's lives recently, and just did the same thing with Ed Milet's Power of One More. I've got a bunch of them in here, and my friend Elizabeth won a copy of The Power of One More. Pete, Cody, a lot of people that watch the show, that shared the show. Ross has been a guest on the show. We end up shipping you a book through the mail or whatever it is, and we give that away. So, like, love, share the show, and you could win. You could win something as well. I pick someone about every other week that shares the show to send them something, and I hope that you appreciate that. But on the topic of women, I traveled this weekend with some great friends that watch the show, that I do business with, that are great entrepreneurs in their own right. My wife, my friends Cody and Gina, and I'll talk today about multiple people just as examples, and things that you may have been through as a lady, as a woman in life, and the things that you may have been told since you were a little girl, but things that no less may have impacted you, but the decisions that I would like to encourage you to make in spite of or along with the things that have happened in your life. And in the instance with ladies, many things happen. I've shared on the show, many other people have started sharing that I adhere to as well, that everything in life happens for you, not to you. We can learn anything in life that you can learn from is not a mistake. You may have made a poor decision. It may not have been the best decision, but if you can learn from that decision, that was a stepping stone to your next higher level. I firmly believe that. I adhere to that in my own life. And at 58, fixing to be 59 next week, I still make some decisions that may not have been the best decision, but I learn from those decisions, and I use those to motivate me to move on to the next level. And that's what I want to encourage the ladies to do this week. My wife was a product of a divorce, and I shared this with some friends this weekend while we were on this trip, and then again this week with some other people. Nearly everyone I know in my life, in my family, in your family, and most people's families have been through divorce. Brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins. My parents were never divorced. Um, my grandparents were divorced. Most of my aunts and uncles were divorced. And most of my friends' parents were divorced. And most of my friends have been divorced. Those of you that have never been divorced, God bless you. I think you're on the road to greatness and you've got it right. And if you have been divorced, hallelujah, you went through that divorce and you found someone else, or you found happiness in life after that divorce. You can move on. There are better things in life ahead for you. We can learn from the things in the past, and those things are now behind us, and we look forward to greater things in life. And ladies, most of you that I know have experienced this. You've dealt with loss of relationship, loss of financial stability, loss of security, loss of love. And you have chosen to rise above that, to push through that, and to move forward in spite of that. Sometimes those things happen to you to help you grow stronger. And it's up to you to make that decision for that to be how you deal with it. Most girls that I know have dealt with some kind of trauma in the past. And every time I start listening to a story of a successful lady, she'll tell a story of trauma in her past. Most women in business and long relationships that have big, happy families and big, happy companies, successful companies, will tell a story of being sexually abused as a child, usually by a family member, and they didn't know it was happening. They were sexually abused as a child, and it went on until they were old enough or till someone found out and they were able to get away from that. Many people, ladies, you in particular, have dealt with that. And we'll talk about a couple of those things. As a young girl, you're supposed to be the princess of the family. You wear the Barbie clothes and the crowns, the plastic tiaras, and the clear see-through high heels, the ballerina outfits. Some of you are a little more masculine and or a little more aggressive, and you like the werewolf outfits, and you want to be a skeleton, or you want to be a race car driver. It doesn't matter, but it doesn't make you any less feminine or any less important when it comes to how you move forward in life. Um, So those are the things that you were taught. You can be, as the boy, you're told you can be anything in the world you want when you grow up. And I believe we should tell our daughters exactly the same thing. You can be anything in life that you want when you grow up. When women's lib came about in the 60s and 70s, and the ladies started burning their bras and saying, we're as important as men. We demand equal pay. We demand equal rights. There was a lot behind that because they were tired of being suppressed, tired of being told they're less than a man, tired of being held down. But along with that came a lot of other things. And along with it came a lot of animosity towards men and the way men treat women, animosity towards the business world. But the successful ones have learned how to push through, how to take on the abuse as a child. Maybe your dad left or your mom left when you were a little girl and you were raised by a dad that had no idea how to raise little girls, and they did the best they could, or maybe they didn't do the best they could, and they left you to be raised by TV or later on by an iPad or a cell phone because they didn't know how to relate to you. Or maybe dad left and it was just you and mom's tried to be your best friend all of her life because she wants to fulfill that part in you that may be missing since you don't have a dad. And you grew up and you went to get an education and decided that what you were learning to do was not at all what you wanted to do with your life. And you had dreams and goals. Listened to a song recently on America's Got Talent, and the girl, her name's Lily Miola. I'd challenge you to look her up on YouTube and watch some of her videos. She got a gold buzzer for a song that she wrote years ago when she was a young girl. She had a recording contract offered to her and was a singer songwriter. And she wrote a song called Don't Give Up on Your Daydreams. Don't quit your daydream. A lot of people in the past have laughed at you and said, don't quit your day job. You're not meant to be a singer. You're not meant to be a comedian. You're not to be a stand-up, a motivational speaker. Don't quit your day job. This girl wrote a song called Don't Quit Your Daydream. And it's all about chasing those dreams, the things that you wanted to do as a young lady growing up, the games you played as a child, and the things that you wanted to do. Don't quit your daydream. And she ended up getting a golden buzzer and went on very far and has released albums now. She gave up on that original dream because her mother came down with cancer. She lost the recording contract, the writing contract, spent the next few years nursing, becoming a caregiver for her mother, who eventually passed from cancer. And then when she got the opportunity to go on America's Got Talent, she got a golden buzzer, did exceptionally well. The song will make you cry. I don't care how tough you are, it'll get you. It's a tough one if you listen to it a couple of times. And that's one of the other things that I've been listening to, and the speakers I've been listening to, and all about all of the challenges they've gone through. Barbara Corcoran, one of the sharks on the Shark Tank, been through major trauma in her child. Most of the women I know, very successful in life, when you start listening to their stories, they've been through some things, and you've been through some things too. And I want to tell you that those things, not that they don't matter. Hey, Elva, you're welcome. Yes, God is great. You all deserve confirmation in your life. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you on here. Patrick Lee, the Mountain Man. Thank you, Cody. There you go. I don't know about that, but I appreciate the sentiment behind it. Thank you. Cody's wife, Gina, I look up to her so much. My own wife, Stephanie, I look up to them so much. My wife went through some major trauma as a child. Gina's been through major trauma in her life. All of the women I know, my sister-in-law, Christine, and my sisters. My oldest sister was murdered, believed to be by her husband at the time. My older sister, Brenda, has been through major trauma in her life. I love her, and I'm impressed that she's still moving forward after some of the things she's been through. The women in my life I know have been through. Hello, Marlene. You're another one. This show is for you. Marlene, my wonderful transaction coordinator, agent here on my team. People have been through trauma in their life, and they've continued to raise their head and get out of bed every morning to move forward, because they believe that if they keep moving forward, they can have the things in life that they say that they want, or they can fulfill something in their spouse's life, in their child's life, or in their parents' life. And if you can help someone fulfill those things in their life, it makes you feel better in your life. And I want to tell you today that it's okay for you to want those things in your life too. That you don't have to seek fulfillment by fulfilling the needs of other people, that you have the right to have your own needs fulfilled, that the dreams you had as a little girl, you deserve for them to come true as well. And no matter what you have been through, those things you have been through. They came to pass. They didn't come to stay. And they didn't come for you to stay in the middle of those situations. So, whatever this is that you have been through, count it all joy that you have been through it. You made it through and you came out on the other side, and you are stronger, taller, bigger, and better for it. You have now the ability to help someone else come through that as well. No one wants to follow someone to a destination they have never been if that person has never been either. And if you have made it through the fire, if you have made it through sexual abuse, if you have made it through financial abuse or spousal abuse, being belittled by parents, family, and friends who told you not to go for it, and you have come out on the other side, you have a story to tell. And there are other little girls out there that need to hear exactly what you've been through. And they need to hear that you made it through, and they will also. And we hope and pray that they don't go through the same things we went through. I went through a lot as a kid, and I've shared it on the show. We were poor. We didn't make a lot of money. My mom left the house to go help my dad with a side hustle. My dad ran the emergency medical services for our hometown. They started out with our old Ford Country Squire station wagon. It was white, and they bought it, had a third seat that folded down, and the hospital bought him a stretcher and a gumball red light that plugged into the lighter, and that became our first ambulance in our hometown. And Dad grew that to a state-of-the-art 3 ambulance facility with a custom garage. By the time he retired from that job 38 years later, he started at that job the year I got out. I was born the year he got out of the Navy, the year I was born, and went to work for the hospital. He was a hospitalman, third class in the Navy, and he went to work for the hospital, and he retired there 38 years later. But it became apparent halfway through my youth that they needed more money. And Mom, who was a homemaker at the time with 5 kids, took a job with my dad, starting a side hustle, and they started a janitorial business, and they got the contracts to go clean local banks. And they started working in the evenings, and my older sisters became our babysitters, much to the chagrin of me and my brothers many times, as the older sisters would love to wield their authority with the belt and whip on us boys. And we always ended up making it through. So we've been through some trauma. We went to bed some nights hungry, without enough to eat. And we've had the power turned off a few times, and we used to bathe in a number 3 wash tub in the kitchen floor of our little 1-bedroom house when there were 5 kids living with Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad used to sleep on a fold down sleeper futon in the living room of our home. And then they added on there was a back porch that they enclosed and turned that into another bedroom, and then added on a bedroom on the other side. Then they enclosed the dirt floor garage, put in a floor, and turned that into another bedroom for my sisters. We sold that house when I was 12 years old for $9,000. I think they bought it for $6,000, and they spent $10,000 on it and sold it for less than they had in it. Those were the days, and those were the times in which we grew up. And all of those things have done in my life is made me more appreciative and grateful of the things in life that I enjoy today. And ladies, my sisters went through that, and it made them stronger. Many of you went through that, and it made them stronger. I love the fact that my mom went out and helped my dad raise some money. And you're doing that for your husband. You're doing that for your kids right now. Maybe you're a single mom, and not by your own choice, but you owe it to these little girls to tell them that they can be anything in life that they want. And we hope and pray that they don't go through the same things that you went through or I went through, but that they know that there is a bright future for them if they Take the attitude of gratitude and learn to grow from what they have experienced. That's the choice that each and every one of us has. Learn to grow from the experience we go through. Going through it is the journey that gives us the knowledge to help others. If we fail, if we sit down and we quit, we can't help those that come behind us. I can't do it, and you can't do it. If you've been through a story, I urge you to write it down. Writing out your story is very, very therapeutic for you, and sharing that story later on will be very therapeutic and helpful for others. Writing out your story can help you emotionally. And then once you have that written down on paper, I would encourage you to polish the story, start to share that with others, send it in a letter, submit it to a magazine. I'm serious. Read it online, make a motivational video about your story that you can share with other people. And you'll be amazed at how much richer your life becomes when you start reaching out to others with your story and you help them understand that there are things in life they can get through too. One of the things I've told you to do on the show many times when deciding what to do about things in life is to take a piece of paper, right? And write a line down the middle of the piece of paper and write the advantages on one side and the disadvantages on the other side. And in writing your story, here's an exercise I would like you to do as well, which is very similar. I would like you to take a piece of paper and I would like for you to write down all of the things in life that you feel like have happened to you, all of your bad experiences, the things that you have overcome. Have you overcome sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, food poverty, gone to bed hungry? Have you been divorced? Have you lost a business? Have you been fired from a job? Have you lost love, the support of family and friends? Write all of those down on everything that you feel like the hands life has dealt you unfairly. And then on the other side of the page, I would like for you to write down all of the things in life that you feel like have been a blessing to you, the things that you have succeeded at, the things where you have won in life, the things that have motivated you in life. And when you're done, I want you to compare the left side and the right side. And I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised when you find out how many of the same items are on both sides of the page. Everything in life happens for you, not to you. And the things that you have had success in life in, I believe, will be directly related to one of the things in life that you previously thought happened to you that you overcame and you learned from. Hello, Ross. Buenos dias, hermano. Good morning, my brother. Sharing some of the comments. Get it, Patrick Lee, 100%. Love you, Tammy. So happy that you guys come in and watch the show. And I love your comments. That's awesome. I truly do. This is it's been heavy on my heart. And I feel like I have something to offer to the ladies today. Like I said, this show is for you ladies. Every one of you are important in your own way. Every one of you have been through things in your life and you have overcome. You own a business. You're successful in the job that you have. You got a side hustle and you're trying to do better. Maybe you have a job and you're doing something else on the side. I have multiple agents on my team that have a side hustle. I have a couple of agents that have a full-time job and they do real estate. Real estate right now is their side hustle because they want more in life. They want to give their kids more in life. They want their children to have a better future, maybe than they feel like they had. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've started a boutique and it's not going well and you need to go out and clean houses. Maybe you need to take in some ironing or laundry for some friends. I know people I've worked with that used to iron clothes for college students that didn't know how to iron, and they took in ironing, cleaning, laundry. It could be anything. Maybe you need to start a side hustle. Maybe you can turn that side hustle into your next successful business. and eventually you end up becoming that entrepreneur that ends up leaving the job, and you own your business. That side hustle becomes your success platform. That's my challenge to you today. Everything in life happened for you. And ladies, you are no less important than the men. The things you have been through in life are 9 times out of 10 more stressful, more damaging than the things men have been through. And men are taught to, and I'm not knocking us guys. Men are taught to just let it roll off. You got to muscle through. You got to rub some dirt on it. You got to suck it up, buttercup. You got to man up. Those are the things we're taught as men all of our life. Just deal with it and move on. Women aren't always taught to do that. They are just taught, or they learn on their own, that no matter what happens to me, I have to have the intestinal fortitude to somehow find a way to smile and move forward, or I'm not going to make it in life. No one likes a bitter woman, right? You hear all of those things. Oh, women are to be seen and not heard. Oh, just stay in the background. You're not important enough to have a business. You're not important enough to be the boss at your job, but you are. You are no less important than us guys are. So maybe the things that you have been through are more traumatizing than the things we have been through. And my hat is off to you today for those things that you have overcome, the struggles you have withstood. And you stand here today with your head held proud, moving forward in life. So today, this show's for you, ladies. I hope this has helped you. Our goal is to motivate you to success in every area of life. Until next week, this has been Patrick Lee with Midweek Motivation Live. Today's show for the ladies. You guys have a blessed day. Bye bye.